What is up, everybody? Gojira851 back with another unboxing from Awesome Collector. Something very special. Let's take a look. From one of my favorite Heisei Godzilla films, we have the Godzilla 1993 Standard Edition. I did miss out on the Rick. We'll talk about it later, but let's get this one open. You're big and beautiful, aren't you? That's freshness out. Some plastic casket. Alright, so let's look at the box a little bit before. Yeah, I've been skipping on the boxes lately. That's not fun. Alright, so we've got Godzilla. You know, two different pictures. Got, a close-up of his face. Got a close-up of his chest, his neck. You also have a profile picture of him with the Godzilla 93 emblem at the bottom. Looking awesome. It says Godzilla in the legendary font. And right underneath it is a 65 celebration with Shin Gojira next to it. Love it. Love it. Awesome box. The Rick edition, of course, was different. You know, it was more orange and gold, you know, because of the gold dust all over Godzilla. And, you know, awesome stuff. I got the standard. Now let's get him out. Part 1 of the tail. Got part 2 of the tail. Heisei Godzilla always had a longer tail. You know, that's something I really liked about the Heisei Godzilla, among other things, but, you know. And here is the body, and very powerful. His bootsies off, and gloves. See, you know, it's not really a secret. I live in Florida. It's very hot out, you know, because we're ending the summer. And he is already very squishy, but, let's see, does not stand well with the tail. He's already squishy, but, what the heck, let's get him a date with a blow dryer. Be right back. And here we are back with the Godzilla 1993 30cm standard from the film Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, Godzilla vs. Super Mechagodzilla, you know, so many different names for that film. All fun. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1993. So, right off the bat, the tail was much easier to put on than the 2019 figure. I don't know what it was about that one, but it just Just took me forever to get that one on. But this one was just lickety-split, went right in, very easy. No fuss, no muss. Okay? The Sculpt is awesome. They announced this figure back in February. I can't remember the name of the convention they had back when conventions were a thing before, you know, happened. And they released the, it's funny, they actually released the prototype of this figure, the unpainted prototype, along with other figures, such as the 2003 SOS Godzilla. I can't remember if they said it was a 25 centimeter for that one or it was a 30 centimeter. You know, either way, I'm down for it. It looks awesome. It's funny, that one was actually all painted and actually ready to go, and it looked like, but they held back on it and they finished the 93. Thank you. Okay, I am a Heisei guy. I love the Heisei series of Godzilla films. Okay, we'll talk. I'll get into that much later on. You know, towards the end of the video after I reviewed the figure. Where was I? So this went up for pre-order or pre-buy in Awesome Collector. I think late May, early June, and you know, I had the money, you know, set aside, you know, for things, and you know, nothing really was really jumping at me and needing my attention for the time. So I went ahead and I pre-bought this figure, and I pre-bought the 2019 that I talked about earlier. And, you know, all I had to do was sit back and wait for it to come. It, you know, got shipped out and just arrived. And another thing, this thing is amazing. I love it. People are saying it's a chunky monkey. I don't see the chunk. Actually, I see a very symmetrical and very muscular build for this Godzilla. The hips aren't really as wide as others have said, but, you know, maybe there's came a little different. You know, I just love this figure, and there's an awesome profile of the roaring snarl he has. Just awesome. Alright, so, enough gushing about that. Let's go ahead and review the figure in total like I normally do. You know, the head to tail, all that other stuff. Okay, starting off with the face. Love it. Okay. Those orange eyes, that very angry roar, like he's like staring down Mechagodzilla, or like Fire Rodan is trying to give him the business, and he wants to, you know, fight Fire Rodan to find out where Baby Godzilla is. And you know, looking awesome. And you look at the teeth; they are that bone yellowish tint to them, each individually sculpted with a big old red mouth interior. Love it. You look at the roof of the mouth as well on the inside. You see all the veins and all the little muscles going through it. Just awesome. Love it. Looks awesome. Then you move on to more of the back of the face, the big strong eyebrows that goes into the ears. Love it. And right at the top of the head, starts off with the dorsal plates. Love it. Love it. Each angle looks awesome with this Godzilla when you look at the face. I don't see a bad angle at all. Okay. Looks awesome to a big old thick neck where you can see the gills starting to form. Because, you know, air me, breathe underwater. Awesome. And at the back of the neck, you see more of where the dorsal plates really start to take shape and go down the center of his back. But we'll get to that. Moving on to the chest and the arms. His arms are cocked upward, like he's giving a big roar, or he's in the process of breathing fire. And then you look at the nails and that bone yellow that goes into the charcoal gray skin. The tree bark skin looks awesome. I always love that about these Godzilla figures, especially X Plus, the way how they show off all of the, you know, the skin, the tree bark in the skin just looks awesome. Especially around the chest, very muscular chest that goes into like his pelvis. I suck at anatomy, leave me alone. And just looks awesome. Love it. Okay. Once again, I'm not seeing a bad angle with this Godzilla at all. And you move on to the legs, and you can kind of see a seam in the legs where it was kind of attached, perhaps. You know, the way how it was sculpted, it's fine. I think it looks awesome. Okay. Each muscle individually sculpted on there. Just looks awesome. Goes into the knees. Loving this figure. Loving the way how the skin feels as well. Just awesome. Love it. Moving on down to the feet now. The feet, you know, the 4-toe scheme. It's once again the bone yellow that goes into the charcoal gray. Love it. I love the 4 TOHO scheme. I say that in pretty much every video. I don't know why I keep repeating myself when I say it. Sorry about that, but yeah. Love the 4 TOHO scheme. Okay, I always loved it. And lastly, let's look at the back and the dorsal plates. That's another huge thing I really love about the Heisei Godzilla, you know, is the dorsal plates. The way how they look, they all seem different throughout the films. However, they have a very uniform look to them as well. If you look at all the dorsal plates lined up, you can tell where they are. There's another way you can also tell years apart as well, the way how the dorsal plates are set. Like the 91s are down more around where the back actually is, and the shoulders, where this one is a little higher above the shoulders a little bit. The 94, the way his are done. The 84 is kind of like the 91. They're a little lower, but they're more pointing outward as well. Or this one's a little more brought together and tightened up. So there's that. But I just love the dorsal plates. You know, you got 3 rows. You know, big one in the center. And they're pretty much the same size on the outskirts as well. You know, the left and the right side as well. Just looking awesome. Love it. They're bone white. You know, with the charcoal gray skin growing on the inside of them. Just looking awesome. Goes all the way down to the tail. All the way to the tip of his tail. And when you're putting him on the shelf, his tail actually curls off to his left a little bit. Looking awesome. Looking awesome. And that there is the 93 King of the Monsters Godzilla from Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Awesome figure. I love this thing. Once again, you know, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 93 is one of my favorite Heisei films as well. You know, criminally underrated that film is. Then again, it has to go up against the original 74 Mechagodzilla as well. And that movie was just phenomenal. So I understand why a lot of people don't like that version of 93 compared to the 74. But I like them both. Plus, I like the story. Again, end. We gotta talk about the figure. Talk about the figure right now. This thing is amazing. So the Rick, you know, let's talk about the Rick a little bit. I was planning on double dipping and getting both figures because I do love that film as well. Once again, you know, 2020, the way how things are, you know, I couldn't spend that much on, you know, the Rick feature. It looked awesome, mind you. Okay, go over and watch other reviewers. You know, you got Kaiju Live. You know, he did his review. You know, and I think he did like it was actually a live stream as well, the way how he did his. Also, you got Leslie Chambers, the way how he had his as well. Just awesome reviews, and it's an awesome looking figure. I would have loved to have had it. Of course I would have. But, you know, I missed the boat. Of course, you know, a day late, dollar short. And I thought about buying it aftermarket. Where's the only place you can go for aftermarket? eBay. Yeah, the cheapest I saw it on eBay a week after it was released was $500. Oh, free shipping, of course. Oh, okay. I can think of a lot better things to do with $500 than, you know, buy a figure that I'm already getting the standard of. Just, it wasn't necessary. Now, if it was like $200 or maybe even $300, maybe we could have worked out on something. But $500, come on. You're going to be sitting on that a while. And you're just going to keep jacking up the price to it. No one's going to buy it. Okay? Just, you know, come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I love it, though. Standard, you're awesome. Okay, I don't miss out. I miss out on the Rick, but not really miss out on the Rick. So let's do some size comparisons. Something I didn't do with the last video, which I really should have. Really forgot to do size comparisons. Let's do size comparisons with the 93. Let's put him against his villain from the film, Mechagodzilla. And here we are, Godzilla standing off against his counterpart, Mechagodzilla. And they size up very well together. You know, Mechagodzilla always did tower over Godzilla in the film, you know, all the scenes that they were in. And actually, there was this funny scene where Godzilla actually picked up Mechagodzilla by the head and swung him around. You know, you see how much bigger Mechagodzilla was to Godzilla, and that's a little fantastical thing about the Heisei series. You know, it was realistic, but it was also very fantastical at the same time. So, fun stuff to watch. You know, also with really good stories as well to tell. These two look amazing together. I wish I had a Fire Rodan to go along with them, but you know, at the time didn't have the cheddar, so I skipped out on getting the Fire Rodan because there's only a Rick, and the Rick was actually a little more expensive than let's say a standard would be. It's fine. They'll probably, hopefully, they do something with Fire Rodan or just a regular Rodan 93 down the line. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't mind seeing another re-release of that or another type of release for that. But till then, I'm fine with it. These do look awesome together. And, you know, as far as, you know, missing out on the Rick for the 93, it's like what Leslie Chambers was saying. You know, it would have led to a lot of great pictures of having this guy, the 93 Rick, with Super Mechagodzilla, because in the film, Super Mechagodzilla does kill Godzilla. Godzilla does die in this film, and he was meant to die in this film. And, you know, they changed their mind last second. But, you know, with the 93 Rick, just take Garuda off his back, and here they are standing amongst each other. Looking awesome still. Love it. Now, if I was to take pictures of these two together, I'd have to have Mechagodzilla just looking on straight because he doesn't have any dorsal plates going down the back. So it would look a little weird to see a giant, like, empty spot with holes in it, you know, in a picture. So, okay. Alright. So, that's for Mechagodzilla. Another thing brought up about this film, and this figure, not film, this figure, is this is going to be a great stand-in for the 94, because we don't have a 94 Godzilla yet from Heisei, and I really would love a 30 center, especially if it was this tall 94 Godzilla as well to go along with it. But until then, let's put him up against his counterpart in that film, Space Godzilla. And here is the 93 Godzilla compared to Space Godzilla. And Space Godzilla is massive, and he just dwarfs, you know, the Godzilla 93 in a lot of respects. But in the film, I beg to differ than what official sites say, where how much bigger Space Godzilla is compared to the Godzilla and the 94 Godzilla. Because you look at pictures, you watch the movie, they're practically the same size. You know, I think, you know, the stats that they gave Space Godzilla afterwards, you know, made him a little bigger than what he actually was supposed to be. Now, I can't confirm that, and I can't, you know, corroborate that, and, you know, it's not official what I'm saying. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but, you know, just look at the suits next to each other. They're the same size. You know, the shoulder crystals, yeah, make Space Godzilla look bigger, but, you know, they're the same size. Okay? You know. Anyway. So that is that. Stand you here. That is pretty much all I have to say about the figure, the 93 figure. This thing is amazing. If you haven't had a chance to buy this yet, and you're looking to buy, and you don't want to spend on the Rick, or maybe you do want to spend the money on the Rick, you know, I recommend either version. The standard is awesome. Standard pose looks great. I love it. I love the sculpt. I love the paint job. I love the design, awesome. 93, Mechagodzilla, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 93, one of my favorite Heisei films. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But until that, if you guys want to log out here and go on to your, you know, your daily thing, I have another X Plus coming up soon. I don't know when soon is. It's a defo reel. I'll leave it as a surprise which defo reel it is. But, if you guys want to log out, you please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all at the next unboxing or whatever video that I can do. But if you want to stick around, listen to me talk about Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, we'll start talking about that in 3, 2, 1. So, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1993. What is my first experience with this film? Well, I saw this film back in 1997. A buddy of mine, you know, his name is James. Big Godzilla fans around here, and there was talks of all these other Godzilla films that came out in the 90s that we didn't get here in America because of, reasons. If it's too complicated to talk about, apparently someone was offended by something in a Godzilla film, and, that hurt distribution, apparently. I'm not the guy to go with that. Okay, let's just say the films just didn't come here for a long time. I think it was 98, they finally released all these films on VHS. But the two of us, we would actually buy these films, via other means and bootleg versions. And they'd be sent to us, and VHS, and we would watch them. And I remember we kind of watched movies out of order, which kind of annoyed him. It didn't really bother me that much because, I was just lucky to be getting them. It bothered him at the time, but eventually he stopped caring as well, especially when we saw, like, Godzilla vs. Destroyer as well. So we finally got this in, and a few weeks before, he showed me the trailer for it. And I'm like, that looks amazing. I want it. And I think it was actually me that actually, ordered it in. He got in King Ghidorah, and he got in Mothra. I got in Mechagodzilla, and both of us saw Space Godzilla and Destroya at a comic book store. So we got it in eventually. But before that, after the trailer, we were sitting back, talking about, like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And, I actually, laid out my idea of what the film, how it would start. The funny thing, yeah, the internet was a thing back then, but I didn't go on the internet every 5 seconds like I do nowadays, check on things. So I just laid back, and I'm like, oh, this would be awesome, a bunch of techs are going to go into a room, and there's going to be the remains of Mecha King Ghidorah, and then they're going to do something like, oh, it's time to get to work or something, and then it shows them actually building Mecha Godzilla. Wouldn't that be awesome? It's kind of what they did. The beginning of the movie, the remains of Mecha King Ghidorah are in a warehouse. G-Force comes in, and they're like, finally, we have a weapon to fight Godzilla. The rest of the scene is them training, the other G-Force operatives and the pilots, and then them rebuilding Mechagodzilla. So I kind of called it back when I was, 14, I think it was, I said that. So, yeah, I guess I had the sight back then. I just remember watching it, and it was just an awesome film. It felt very grounded. It felt very fantastic at the same time, building Mechagodzilla, and the way how they did it in that film is very scientific and very grounded, very down-to-earth way how they rebuilt him. It's like, oh, but it's future tech. Yeah, it's future tech that they found, and they reverse engineered, so by that, they actually increased their own technology by reverse engineering, things from the past. To fight a monster in the present. So I really like that. It felt very grounded and felt very realistic. Something that, modern day people would do. If you have a problem with something, figure out what it is that they use to cause you your problem and better yourselves. That's warfare. It's like the caveman times. Always developing newer weapons, to deal with, newer threats. Makes perfect sense. The film kind of ignoring Godzilla vs. Mothra, was another thing I really liked, because even though I don't want to hate that movie, I really don't. It's a Godzilla movie, it's in the Heisei series, I don't want to hate that movie. I kind of do hate that movie. I hate the way how, Godzilla is pretty much, a side character in his own movie. It's called Godzilla vs. Mothra. It's not Mothra versus Godzilla. So it made more sense in the 64 version for the film to be more about Mothra than Godzilla. Her name's first in the title, so it makes perfect sense for her to be the centerpiece. This is smack dab in the middle of the Godzilla Heisei series, and Mothra and Bachor are the main characters. Godzilla was just a side note. It's like, I did not like that. Even when they tried to do epic things with Godzilla in that film, coming out of Mount Fuji, out of the volcano, and just the way how the music played whenever he was kicking ass, it still felt like he was a side character. So they kind of ignored that film. They kind of reference it here and there, little sprinkles, but they mainly ignore it and they go with the, you know, Mecha Godzilla. Godzilla's back to being the star, which, you know, is another thing I really liked as well. Baby Godzilla. Awesome. I love it. It's actually a Godzillasaur. So it's from the same family as Godzilla. So you can kind of say it's an adopted son, or you can try to read a little further into it and say, oh, it's from the same family. It was just birthed on a different island rather than Godzilla. Godzilla was always from there, and he just woke up on Lagos Island in 91. I'm kind of a nerd, aren't I? What are you going to do? So, you know, so many possibilities, so many ways to look at it. You know, it just, love it. Rodan. I love Rodan in that film. Yes, the puppet or the suit or whatever it was, you know, yeah, it was lacking compared to the Showa Rodan. The Showa Rodan could do a lot more, where the Heisei Rodan was not really that mobile, really anything. It's fine. I don't care. I thought it looked awesome. I love the design of Rodan, and then becoming Fire Rodan. Just awesome. I love how he could breathe fire. Was awesome. And then the fights he had with Godzilla and then with Mecha Godzilla, I thought was really awesome. Something they took over from the Showa series. You know, Rodan standing up for himself, you know, and fighting like Ghidorah or Godzilla. He fights Mecha Godzilla. You know, it's quite arguably Godzilla's strongest enemy ever. So there's that. I love the human characters. I love them all. You know, the pterodactyl guy, Miki Sagusa. You know, the girl that pterodactyl guy, you know, likes. And the way how they interact with the monsters as well. The way how the monsters look in the city compared to the humans as well. Just awesome. I love the music. The music just, oh. Sit back, I can listen to that music all day. Especially Mecha Godzilla's theme song. Just, I love it. You know, the 70s is a little bit of cheese and disco, where the 93 is a little more serious and more bombastic. So just, you know, different movies, different tones. So, you know, they're both awesome. I'm not picking on the 70. I love the 74 Mecha Godzilla. Don't get me wrong. Okay, just I happen to like the 93 a little more, even though he does look kind of like a beer can. Who cares? I love the stuff that they did with Mecha Godzilla being able to, you know, reflect Godzilla's energy back at him. You know, once again, showing, you know, an adaptation with, you know, weaponry to go into the future. Just awesome. Loved it. I love all the fight sequences, even though, you know, Mecha Godzilla can't really move that much, but the way how the suit was built, it looked like it was really a suit of, like, a real robot, the way it's standing there. And the way how the suit was done, it was all in segmented pieces as well. It was almost like it was a giant layer of plate armor, you know, layers and layers and layers and layers. Just awesome. Yeah, it fell apart, I think, at one point when Godzilla went to swing Mecha Godzilla around, you know, his head popped off. Okay, you know, bloopers happen in movies all the time. That's something I really like about this copy of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 93 and the other Heisei films I have. They have a bloopers reel after the movie, so you get to see all the little fun stuff. You know, and one side rant. Yeah, sorry I'm rambling now, but Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla's fighting the military. All of a sudden, a giant fish, a fish jumps out because they filmed it in a body of water where fish were, so it skipped in. Just fun stuff. I love it that Godzilla dies in it. Yeah, it shows that Mecha Godzilla and the humans can be taken seriously. That, you know, all these films where they're trying to fight Godzilla and trying to defeat the King of the Monsters and always failing and always, you know, not being able to, you know, deal with Godzilla. They finally do it. And originally they were talking about that being the final film, and then eventually in the future going off with little Godzilla and doing something with him. I'm glad they changed their minds and they moved on to other things, you know, Space Godzilla and Destroy It, but, you know, that was a pretty epic way to end the film if they did have Mechagodzilla, you know, legit kill Godzilla and him stay dead. I love it how Rodan gives his life, what's left of his life, to Godzilla, and he becomes, you know, Gold Dust Godzilla. Or Disco Godzilla, whatever you want to call it. Rebirth Godzilla. Okay. Awesome stuff. You know, I love how he has the red spiral ray, you know, the uranium fire. It just obliterates Mechagodzilla, and I think I've gone on enough about that film. If you haven't seen Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 93, I highly recommend it. It's a fun film. It's a serious film. It's an emotional film. You know, a lot of emotional scenes in it, you know, especially with the woman scientist with, you know, the baby Godzilla, you know, a lot. The movie has heart. in my opinion. I love it. Some hate it. Some really like it as well. But I'm done rambling. I gotta get ready for work. So, all right, you all have a nice day. And I'll catch you all for the next unboxing or other video. And, yeah.